Hey Twitch, I am just waiting for my Facebook to connect to Facebook Live, and then we're going to do the giveaway. Go live. No, I've got internet. Come on. See, I was trying to do this both at the same exact time. Alright, let me try a different network on my phone. Discard. Let me go through because the nice thing about my husband, because he's IT, is that we actually have a few different networks in our house for internet. So when one isn't the greatest, I can just connect to another one. Oh, there we go. Oh, let me flip this around. There we go. Hi! So I'm live on my Twitch and I'm live on Facebook Live because it is 1 o'clock on Thursday. So we're giving away a Mega Android pattern. Monday was pattern release day. Oh my gosh. Why does my brain always do this to me, especially whenever I'm live? So Monday's pattern release day. That means that I did a giveaway. So on Tuesday, I said comment below with what video game you would like me to see turn into a pattern. And because what that does is it gives me ideas. It tells me what you guys want. And then that way I can, gauge some feedback and actually work on some patterns. So, yeah. In fact, today, I hinted, somebody actually requested a pattern, which is going to be the next one after the Loki-inspired one. So, yay! So that's why I'm doing Twitch and Facebook Live at the same time, because as soon as I finish giving away this pattern, I'm going to stream on Twitch, and I'm going to make that next pattern. So those people that watch me on Twitch actually get to see me do it. So, yeah, I'm super excited. Okay, so pattern giveaway time. Let's do it. I have this fantastic app on my computer that lets me randomly pick someone. So I'm going to flip this around. My flip button's not working today. All right, so I have chosen, as you see here, I have chosen the post, and let's pick a random winner. Come on. There we go. It's thinking. So, Rhonda. Of course it's... I love Rhonda. Yay! So someone I know! So, Rhonda, congratulations! You got the Mega Android! That is fantastic! Okay, so let me switch this back over here because, yeah, it's time for me to work on my next one. So, I'm not going to show you the pattern. I'm going to show you the colors. Those are the colors. So, if you want to watch me, and Rhonda, I will get in touch with you and get you your free pattern. And if you want to watch me work on the next pattern, I'm doing it on Twitch right now for the next 3 hours. And then this will be up on YouTube. So I didn't put yesterday's up on YouTube yet. I haven't had a chance. But tomorrow I will put yesterday's and today's stream. So if you want to see the next pattern in the series, YouTube tomorrow. It'll be there. I'll put the link up on my Facebook as well, so you can see it. So thanks for joining me. Congratulations again, Rhonda. And if you want to continue watching me, I'm on Twitch. See you guys later. See? And we gave it away. So, yeah, I love Rhonda. That's funny that I picked it, because I actually just saw her at Spring Market, and I gave her one of my other patterns because I love her so much. So, yay. All right, so let's do some streaming. So let me go back over here so I can see chat. Fantastic, I'm in the chat room. All right, so, da-da-da-da. If you were looking carefully, you probably saw this over here hiding. This is my next pattern. I am super excited. It is the Triforce. If you're not familiar with video games, which hopefully everyone on Twitch is familiar with video games. But of course, if you're watching this on YouTube, you may not be. This is the Triforce from Legend of Zelda. I have been asked numerous times to do a pattern for Link, Zelda, Triforce, anything that is Legend of Zelda related. So I was trying to figure out what I could do, how I could do it, and I actually got a little bit of inspiration, especially yesterday when I was working on my mini Catan quilt that I'm going to be teaching at Gen Con. I thought, you know what, I should do some more mini quilts. So this is actually a mini quilt. It's going to be about 20 inches by 20 inches, so it's going to be a nice, decent size quilt. It's going to be about the same size as this mini quilt. So it is a good size for you know, decorations for the wall, for a centerpiece for a table, for a mat for someplace. It's going to be a couple of different things. So that's what I'm making. Now I started cutting out my pieces and I didn't get very far. So the first thing I'm going to do is finish cutting out my pieces. And then I will get to putting them together. All right, I know it's hard to see with this light on, but I can't. It's so hard for me not to see without my daylight on when I'm cutting pieces. So let me get my pieces cut. Now this ruler, I did mention a little bit ago that I'm getting a Sizzix system to cut all my strips. I have not gotten it yet, so that's why I'm still using the rotary cutter. So I've got, this is the Stripology ruler, which is fantastic. I love it. Alright, so I've already cut out my gold pieces, so my black pieces. Okay, there's 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. So there's 20 pieces of that. I need 38 total. Let's go a 2. And with these little stubs here, let's see what I can I do a 2? Nope, so let me do a 1 1/4. Now, because this is a mini quilt, these pieces are teeny, teeny, tiny. So unlike most of my quilts, these pieces are actually a lot smaller than some of my other pieces. In fact, they're exactly half the size. So if you're used to seeing some of my quilts in person, if you've seen how big those squares are, these squares are the same size as the NES sampler quilt. So the teeny tiny little squares. So because of that, I may put an intermediate stamp on this one, in that you have to be a little bit knowledgeable in quilting before attempting it. Oops. There we go. I don't know why I always do it so low. With the Stripology ruler, it's a lot easier doing it higher up. There we go. Alright, so I've got 20. I need 18 more. 4, 8, 12, 16, and I'm going to stop right there. So I need 2 more, so I'll get them out of there. Now for these pieces, I have 4, so I need 10 more. There's 8, 10. Okay. And from these, can I get a 3.5 out of that? No. But I know I can get a 2. Now the reason why I'm staggering my 2 inches over here, and I don't know if you can see, yeah, you can't really see it because the light's too bright. I am staggering them over here so I can count it easily. There we are. whenever I figure out what I need. I don't know why I just did that. I've got my Triforce ruler out. Okay, so I need 2 more of that. Okay, now, of the 2 inches, I have 4, 8, 12, 16. So 3.5 to 5.5. I just need that one. Okay. So I've got all of these. I've got all of these. And I have 4. I'm going to use my little ends here first. Now the only problem with the Stripology ruler is that it does not have 1/4 inches. It's only half and whole. So my little pieces are actually 1 1/4 inches wide. So a little small. Okay, so there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and I need 6 more. 2, 4, 6. There we go. Now for my combined pieces. Now I've already sewn them and ironed them. Now with here, I'm lining it up along my center seam. I'm not lining it up along the top or the bottom because whenever you iron these seams open, sometimes it'll be a little wonky. So that seam itself is actually a better way to gauge it. Okay, so for the combined, I need 16 of each. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. It's trash. Okay, and then for the other one, I need 16 as well. So I'm going to finish this one off. I can put my Stripology ruler away because I'm not going to need that anymore. 2, 4, 6, 8. And you've got to be really careful whenever you're cutting these little tiny 1 1/4 pieces. It's super easy to get it crooked. And that's why it's a little bit of an intermediate, because of the small pieces. You really have to know how to sew a straight line. And because whenever you put a small piece into the sewing machine, I'll show you in a bit. Oh, hi Persimmon, how are you? Oh, yeah, I have my tea too. This is what I was teasing yesterday. This is the next pattern in the series. It's a mini quilt, 20 inches by 20 inches, with teeny tiny little pieces, so 1 1/4 inch pieces. So that's why I was saying these little tiny pieces are harder. So I'm thinking instead of putting it as a beginner pattern, I'm going to put it as an intermediate pattern. Okay, so I said I had 8, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, yep. So 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Yeah, I got some inspiration lately, and I can't tell you where. It's for one of those secret projects for fall market. I can say that. So I'm super excited. I got that and I yeah. So and I saw some of this fabric for one of the companies that I'm going to be designing something for, and I looked at that and I went, oh, I can turn that into a pattern. So this pattern is actually going to release at the beginning of October, and then the project will be released at the end of October at Fall Market. So super excited about that. Okay, I am done with my straight edge. Let me put it back here out of the way. Alright, so after I have all of my pieces cut out, now with a mini quilt, I've only done a couple of the small little pieces. The NES sampler quilt that you can only get by seeing me at a convention has small teeny tiny pieces, which is why I tell people it's intermediate. And I've done a couple other commissions with teeny tiny pieces, mostly pillows, things like that. The nice thing I like about the teeny tiny pieces is that I can lay out the entire quilt all in one time. So I don't have to worry about setting up my rack. I don't have to worry about a lot of those things. So let me set myself up. There we go. To do my things. Alright, black. In fact, I'm going to shift this just a little bit over. That way you can see just a little bit better. And the nice thing about this quilt, it is 2 colors. So super nice and easy. Alright, so let me start laying it out. So I have 1, 2, 3 of these. Now you notice whenever I cut these pieces, I didn't flip it. So it actually has the right side on top of the wrong side. So it's just like whenever I fold it in half and I do all my cuts to make it go faster, I didn't flip it all over. It takes extra time. I've got to grab it and lay it all out anyways. So 1, 2. Okay, so making sure you can see it in the camera. 1, 2, 3. And a little guy. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now I am going to pin as I go because it's just going to be a lot easier. Especially whenever I get up here, if I run out of space for room for rows, I'll pin it over here and set it off to the side. Oh, I did not draw my arrows onto there. So I don't know which way to sew it and iron it. Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to the right. So I'm flipping the piece on the right, turning it up over on the left, and pinning into place. Okay, for this next one, I've got a single one of these guys and a whole bunch of these back and forth. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the gold is going to go up. 1, 2. Now I'm alternating which way my seams are pointing. So in this case, my seam is pointing towards the gold. In this case, my seam is pointing down towards the black. So now my next one has to go up towards the gold again. And you know what? I'm just going to lay them all out. That way you guys can see them. Because they're little. Doesn't make a difference. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then a single piece towards the gold. Okay, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then a single guy here. Now, normally I group them up into 2s because that's how I pin them. But with the smaller, what did I call it? Oh my gosh, small quilt, the art quilt. Oh my brain is not working. With the smaller quilt, you can lay all the pieces out, and I don't have to worry about saving any room. Whenever I do, oh, and my seams are pointing to the left, so I'm taking the left piece, flipping it up over the right piece. Whenever I do larger quilts, when I do double, queen, and king size quilts, I'll actually lay it out 2 or 3 rows at a time for a single row. So one row will take 2 or 3 rows. I'll pin it all into one, and then move on to the next one. Now I was thinking about today with this quilt, if I'm going to, because it's so simple, there's only 2 colors, there's not a lot of cuts, I was thinking about possibly putting a second set of, if you would like it to be 40 inches by 40 inches, if you would like it to be larger, these are the measurements and this is how you cut for a larger one. But I haven't decided yet. Okay, the next one, I've got that. And I've got 1, 2 of these. One of those. Oh, that's right, I want to lay them all out. One of these. And yes, if you're watching this on YouTube and you haven't watched any of my videos before, I talk to myself as I lay pieces out. 1, and then 1, 2. I find I make less mistakes that way. Okay, 1, 2. Okay, and in this case, seams are going to the right. Oh, and I apologize, I have not put the video from yesterday up on YouTube yet. Because as soon as I woke up, nail day, so I went out and got my nails done. And then I got my lunch, came back, and started prep for the stream. Thanks, Persimmon. No, and I completely understand that too. I actually, I got my eyebrows done this morning too when I was getting my nails done. I actually fell asleep as she was doing my eyebrows. So yeah, last night was a super late night for me, and I know it was a super late night for you because you stayed up with me last night. One, 2, 1. So if you fall asleep and take a nap, that is perfectly okay. You know how many times my husband will sit and watch a stream, a Twitch stream, and then fall asleep, take a nap, or he decides to go to the store, doesn't turn it off, leaves it on, seams are pointing to the left, so I'm flipping left over right. And I keep telling him, I was like, why do you do that? He goes, it doesn't matter. It doesn't take too much electricity, and it helps the streamers because they have more people watching. All right, I guess I can't argue with that. Yeah, see, I cannot do that. I am the kind of person to where if I don't get at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep, I'm a zombie, and I do not function. I cannot think. And last night, my husband had because I finished the stream at 8, and he had a softball game at 9:30. So that means he was not done with a softball game until 11 o'clock at night. And I normally go to bed at 10. Okay, 1, 1. And 1. One of these. One of these. One of these. One of those. There. And there. Let me just double check that. Okay. And seams go to the right for this one. Mini quilt. Why could I not think of mini quilt earlier? Man. It's funny, the very first time that I used these teeny tiny little squares was the companion cube quilt. Don't know if I still have it on my commissions page, but I am never making that again. I did not charge enough for that one because I wanted to get all the detail of the companion cubes in the quilt. So I said, oh, that's fine. I'll just cut everything in half and I'll make the squares smaller. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, I'll charge maybe $100 more than I normally charge for that type of quilt. Yeah, no. It took me twice as much time, and these teeny tiny squares are harder. I didn't know any better. Now, for those people that are not, okay, towards the gold, that are not familiar with The Legend of Zelda, obviously if you're on Twitch you are, but if you're watching this on YouTube you may not be familiar with the game. If you look at the design, if you look at the interior triangle as it comes down, it's not symmetric. And the actual yellow triangle as well is not symmetric at all. And in the original game, because of the way the pixels were, they did not make it symmetric. Because that's just how they had to do it. I don't know if they could make it symmetrical. So, instead of making it all nice and pretty, we kept it true to the original game, and it's lopsided. Yeah. See, my brain does that to me a lot, where I can't think of names, terms, stuff like that, but it eventually comes to me. I think I need to add another set of vitamins to my morning regimen. And I am now to the row that is the top of the interior black triangle. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, and it's going to go up towards the gold. 3, 4. And I am out of my pieces like this, which means I did it right. I like it when I do it right. I mean, how many times with the Loki-inspired quilt did I have to go back and change my notations and fix a couple of things? Now, even though this quilt is not, the pattern's not being released until October, I am working on this now because I have a super busy schedule the next few months. Yeah. Oh no, so I still have to assemble all the rows. I'm going to whiz through it, but instead of having it take 2 streams, like quilts normally do, this should just take me 1. So I've got, next weekend, I'm in DC for AwesomeCon. I'm thinking I'm going to do a stream Saturday. I do not know if I'm going day or night. It depends on when we're going to go see Wonder Woman. We haven't made a decision if we're going to go to the matinee or if we're going to go to an evening. If we do a matinee, I'll do an evening stream. If we do an evening, I'll do an afternoon stream. And then next week, I'm planning on streaming Wednesday. That is going to be my special pinning stream, where I will pin all of the t-shirt quilts that I have made. So you can see how I do my backing, I get on the ground, I do all the pinning, things like that. And that's mostly for those new to quilting. If you have a top done and you are ready to do the actual quilting, but you're not quite sure how to put the sandwiches together. And then, so next weekend I've got AwesomeCon. I may stream from the convention on and off, just as a test, to make sure that it's working and it's fine, work out any kinks. Because then the following week I'll stream from Too Many Games, not just my setup, but I love Too Many Games. There are so many amazing guests that they invite there, from Twitch, from YouTube, from all sorts of places. Angry Video Game Nerd is always there. And then, of course, some of my favorite people in the entire world, some of the bands. It's almost like a reunion of all the people I love that don't go to MagFest. I should say. Because, yeah, MagFest is almost the same thing, because MagFest is pretty darn amazing. Three, and then when I get home from that, that following week, I should stream at least Tuesday, Wednesday. I'll probably do a daytime stream on Tuesday, because that weekend I'm going camping. And then here is the I may be crazy part. The weekend after that, I'm thinking of doing a convention in Nashville. I haven't committed to it yet, but, I mean, the biggest drawbacks is I'm probably not going to have as much as I like to have at conventions. The benefits, it is inexpensive. It is not that expensive. It's a market I've never been to before with my quilts. So I always like to expand into new markets. Yeah. And then I've got 2 weekends off. And then Con Bravo here in Hamilton. Got 2 weekends off. And then Gen Con. Right after Gen Con, I'm going to Dragon Con as a helper to hopefully talk to someone so I can get in next year. Because I keep applying at Dragon Con and they keep turning me down. So I'm going to see if I can't go face to face with someone and be like, hey, so does someone have to die for me to get in? Or, yeah. So that's why, and then of course, 2 weeks after Dragon Con, it's now October. So this is why I'm working on this pattern now. That whole big long rambling thing was why I'm working on a pattern that's coming out in October in June. One, two. Okay, and this is to the right. Oh, and then of course tonight is my quilt banquet for my quilt guild. So as soon as I finish streaming here, I'm going to feed the dogs and go to the quilt banquet. It's funny, my friends always say that they never see me. And I'm like, you know what? If I'm not quilting, I feel bad. Because I am so busy, I should be quilting almost all the time. Okay, so I don't want to put any in the space. Well, I guess I could put some up here. So I'll put the next row right there. And then after that, I only have 2 rows, so then I'll put them here. Off to the left. Okay, 2. 1. I'll have to nobble someone for a Dragon Con. And like, yeah. See, that's what my thought is that because the thing with Dragon Con, so it's juried, but it's not. It's almost like if you catch someone's eye, and it's one of those things where they're so big and they're so busy, it's super, super easy to fall through the cracks. So the gentleman that I'm gonna be a minion. The gentleman that I'm minioning for knows the head of the vendor room. So he's actually he's encouraged me. He wants me to bring some of my quilts and my commission book. And he's actually going to hang some of my quilts because he has large grid wall as well behind all of his stuff, but he doesn't hang anything from it. It's more like a separation between him and the people around him because he does glass. So I'm going to bring all my quilts and I'm going to bring my commission book and we're going to hang some of the quilts. So he's going to introduce me to the vendor room. I'm going to show them my commission book and be like, hey, look, this is just a sampling of what I do. I want to be in Dragon Con. How do I get a space? Yeah, it's super, super hard to get in that convention. Okay, so for this one, I'm actually going to start laying it out right here. 1, 2, and I am going to double it up for room. 2, 1. And it, the answer for Dragon Con may just be, oh, well, you just have to keep applying, and one of these years you may get in. And if that's the case, I'll keep applying. Okay, these are going to the right. Yeah, no, and that's the thing too, is that it's the persistence. Is if I want to get in something, I have to constantly... Did I count that wrong? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. No, I didn't. I counted the rows that are over here wrong. Alright, 1, 2. Eventually, one of these years, I will get in. Well, and for the longest time, I wasn't sure if Dragon Con was a good fit for me, because it's a sci-fi convention. But, after many, many talks with people, yeah, I totally would fit there. Uh-oh. I counted these wrong. Let me just double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. How many did I say? I said 16. And that's why we make the patterns. Alright, where'd I put the extras? Right there. I'm sure you've had the same issue I've had sometimes, Persimmon, where you buy a pattern and you realize there's a measurement or cutting or what other kind of mistake in there. Yeah, that annoys me. Okay. So I always try to make sure, I always make mine to make sure all of my math is correct. My counting is correct. Okay, to the left. See, and luckily, and it's funny because Dragon Con is the only convention that I've applied to a couple of times and not gotten in, because I am so different and unique in the convention scene. Yeah. I know exactly what you mean by ripping all your hair out. Yeah, I can tell. I'm like, are you kidding? You made this pattern and you never tested it. You have this blatant error right here. Yeah. So I make it, I write it all down, I send it to Nicole and she does the workup, and then I go through and I check everything that she's done. If I'm happy with it, I then send it on to a third person who goes through and checks everything. Did I count those wrong? Oh, no, I cut 8. Okay, just making sure. I cut 2 extras. No, it's not you. It's what happens is there's a lot of programs out there that you can create quilt patterns, and you never actually have to make them. And so a lot of times designers may assume that the system and the pattern maker, the pattern system, is smart enough to pick up on certain things, and it's not. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Fantastic. You know what I may do at AwesomeCon to do a test? Is I may walk around the convention. I've had people ask numerous times about, they want to see some of these conventions that I go to because they can't travel and they can't get to the conventions. They want to see what they look like. So if I can get Twitch working in the DC Convention Center. I just may just walk around the convention center one day and show you guys what it looks like. There we go. Okay, everything is all laid out. Let me set these aside. Yeah, it's... See, and hard to follow is different than the mistakes. And there are a ton of patterns that are hard to follow. The Quilt in the Day series for the quilts, it's a very... It's not polarizing, but there's back and forth on it. Because some people love them and some people hate them in the quilting world. Because it really is just a spit them out, mass, you know, kind of, oh, hey, I can do a quilt in 2 days, and it's not really artistic. My thing is I like them because of how detailed and how specific those patterns are. They are super easy to follow. Anyone can make those patterns. They're great. I love them. And so whenever I started doing my patterns, I actually wanted the same feeling. I wanted to make sure that anyone could pick it up and read it and look through there and understand what to do. So I hopefully have done that. I like people to try to understand. I hate patterns where they're so complicated you can't figure it out. Like, actual sewing scares me. Because I've seen patterns, they say, sew a dart. Alright, I gotta figure out how to sew a dart then. And I don't know any of that stuff. Ooh, I need my toy. I need my cutting gizmo. I like my cutting gizmo. I'm glad you want that one. And seriously, if you ever do get any of my patterns, if for some reason you think any of it is unclear, if any of it is not, like you can't follow it or understand it, please tell me, because I want to change it. Because I want to make sure that everyone can understand it. And whenever I do them, I try to keep in mind experienced quilters as well as people who have never made a quilt before in their lives. So all the beginner ones are for everyone. Because I also do a lot of, like as you see here, laying things out for perfect points. No, I think darts are cool, you know? I understand why you do them. I just can't figure out how to do them. That's funny. Yeah, as you get older, and you get a little bit curvier, darts are important. See, I didn't start sewing until after my divorce. I joke my first divorce, because if my husband's not good, I'll trade him in for another. Oops. Yeah, I need darts too. It's funny because for me, because of my frame, if for t-shirts, I have to wear the women's cut t-shirts. Because if I try to wear a men's t-shirt, it looks like I'm dumpy. And it's not very, it doesn't look good at all on me. It's just very, very frumpy. Frumpy is a good one. So when there are companies that don't have women's style t-shirts, like, I can't wear them. I like my cutting gizmo. It makes it so much faster to separate my chaining. I always find it's faster to do all of the sewing first, and then the ironing and pinning. If I assembly line it, it goes faster. That's another thing I try to do with and so the reason why I don't know if I ever got into this with Twitch, the reason why I have a pattern line is I've been selling my quilts at comic book and video game conventions for 7-8 years now. And every now and then I get people that say, oh man, that's amazing, but I can sew. Do you have a pattern? And remember, I'm mostly self-taught. So whenever I design my patterns, it looks like this. So I don't know if anyone could ever understand that. So I'm like, there's no way people could understand that, number one. Number two, yeah. Oh, that's nice. So, and then number two, of course, you've got the copyright issues of well, if I take something directly from something else, I can create something with my own two hands, but I can't mass produce it. And patterns are mass producing. Oops, let me wait. So if I were to create patterns, we then have to create original sprites that are inspired by things, but is not that thing. So whenever I finally got far enough in the business that I started actually doing original things, my own creations, and not just taking it from somewhere, I'm like, you know what? I could do it from a copyright standpoint at this point. I'm the only one in my workplace. So I can talk gaming all day too if I want. Oh, I was looking at the thing, I was like, that doesn't quite look right. Yeah, there's my eyes. It was fine. What I was looking at is, now that I can take the bits on my event list that lets me know when stuff happens, the bit still appears, but down below on my event list on the stream, it doesn't show. So I didn't know that didn't show. I know donations show there. Yeah. It's funny because my mother's actually the one that got me into video games. Whenever we didn't have an Atari, but we had an Intellivision. And then I think I was in 5th grade whenever the Nintendo NES came out. 5th or 6th grade. And my mother was the one that said, oh no, we're getting this. And just sitting there playing hours upon hours with my mother. In fact, for years, Thank you very much, okay. Kurkanja. Kurkanja? I'll say Kur. So, in fact, for many years, Mom and I would play games together. Thank you very much. I try. It's all a matter, honestly, it's with any skill at all, the more you do it, the better you get at it. And I literally quilt 8 to 12 hours a day every single day that I'm not at a convention. So it's all a matter of the time that you put into it. Yep, it was the bottom to the top over there. No, unfortunately, I don't do anything private. I'm almost done with the first pass for this one. So after I finish sewing that last row, I finish the first pass, I'll go through and I will iron them all and pin them for the second pass. No, it's fantastic. Thank you very much, Kerr. So, Persimmon, it's called the Cutting Gizmo. It's by the Gypsy Quilter. I love the Gypsy Quilter stuff. It is pretty cool. It makes it go a lot faster for separating your chaining. And I am all about efficiency. Dang it, that's what I thought. That goes there, that goes there. At least I didn't get them out of order. I'll double check it after I iron them and pin them. So on the stream on Saturday, I'm going to work on t-shirt quilts. I have 2 more left to do in the commission of 7. So I'm going to try to get as many done as I possibly can, because then when I travel down for AwesomeCon and I do the stream on pinning, I want to get as many pinned as I can. Alright. Let me turn my iron on. And I'm just going to work from the bottom and go up. Just take a moment to heat up. Yeah, see, there's no way. I may get extra time today in the stream. If I have extra time today, Persimmon, then I will start on the t-shirt quilts. I don't think I will, though, because I still have to assemble the rows, and then I have to add on the border. 3. This goes to the right. And I'm looking on my pattern to see which way the seams are pointing. Because all I'm doing is I'm laying it all out. I made sure that I kept everything in the same order as I went throughout. So as I iron these, I'm making sure that they're still in the same order. And then all I have to do is check to see which way that seam points. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then lay it out that way. And this one goes to the right. You know what? I'm going to start confusing myself. I'm going to start pinning it. So to the right, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. And this way is to the left. I think I have 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now in this case, I have 7 pieces. So I'm going to take the top one off and lay that down. Because my first pass through, I left the last piece here. So I'm going to leave the first piece out this time. And that way I include all the pieces that I can. Oh, you know what? I just realized I never changed my title. Let me change the title down here. There we go. Only an hour into the stream. Okay, to the right, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So take the top one. Four, and this one, 1, 2, 3, 4 is going to the left. Nope, I counted 5. Miscount. This one's got 4 with a 5th there. to the left. No. To the right. See, the reason why I caught that is if I would have gone it to the left, the gold would have been on the outside. And looking at the pattern, there's no gold on the outside anywhere. Three, 4, 5 total. Okay. I'm just going to move that one over so I can see it better. To the left. Take that one out. Three, 4, 5, 6. I still can't believe how I like the bubbles around that Catan quilt. I really wasn't expecting to like it as much as I do. Okay, and this one's to the right. Yes. I thought I counted 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, but this one makes 7. So that one's first. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good, so this is going to be even 3. Okay. This one's to the left. One, 2, 3, 4. I've got a piece there, so that's 5. To the right. Yep. 3, 4, 5. Don't think about it. No. No. This is not for you. Don't think about it. You don't want to come over here. No. I'm going to immediately pick you up and put you on the ground if you do. She's sitting there thinking about it. She's kind of looking over. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, good. 5. To the left. That is the most annoying thing whenever I am in the middle of sewing and the cat jumps on the ironing board. Because not only is she getting in my way, whoops, oh yeah, oh I forgot to take one off, but, dang it, that's what I thought. Okay, hold on, I did this wrong. Okay, to the left. There. Now this goes here. But now she's jumped on the ironing board, so I have to get out the hair remover and get all the cat hair off of there. And then that way. Great. Okay, now I've got it masked. I've got it good. I know, I love you too. Okay, there are 5. Hey! Stop. That. I know. She was clawing at one of my boxes. Oh, cats. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one goes to the left, and 6 is here. I've got to look at my Westerly Sew Steady templates to see if they have any triangles in there. Because I'm thinking that I should quilt this with triangles all over it, and that'd be really cool to use with that template. Okay, let me sew this one and free this. No. Do not come over here. It is not time for dinner. The biggest problem that we have with the cat is she's deaf. So it causes a few things. She can't hear when you yell at her. And whenever she meows, it is so loud because she can't hear herself. Okay, let me. So the second pass. Yeah. No. She just jumped on top of my other sewing machine. Don't you dare jump on top. Hey! No. She's trying to jump on top of the bookcase with all the fabric. You can't fit up in there. Oh, cats. And she looks around like, what? I haven't done anything. I don't know what you're talking about. I am innocent. Perfectly. Yeah. See, and I'm not even a cat person. And so we got Hestia. Jordan named her. We got Hestia almost 2 years ago. In the middle of a snowstorm, we heard this pitiful scream. Don't! We heard this pitiful screaming and wailing, and we thought it was a child or something. And so we find her. My screenshot's not updating. Yeah, it is. Yeah, just delay. So it's, I was like, oh, that's weird. So we find her in the middle of the snow next to our house, just screaming and crying and wailing. So we're on our way out to a benefit for a friend of ours. So we brought her in, gave her a little bit of tuna and some water, and trapped her in the kitchen so the dogs couldn't get to her. And then on the way back, we stopped and got a litter box and other things. And of course we posted the signs, put her picture on websites, tried to find her owner. Nothing. So we know that she was a house cat because A, she's deaf, and B, she knows how to use a litter box and everything. We haven't had any problems with her having accidents. So I think maybe she belonged to an elderly person that passed away, and the family just didn't want to deal with her, so they put her outside. Either that or she got out, and for some reason, the people that had her, we just never connected. So I wanted to find her a home. And of course, by then, my husband and Jordan were all like, no, we can keep her. Alright, so you know what that means. I now have a cat. My husband messaged me the other day, hamster with a question mark. Like, oh, who knew, no. No. We are not getting any kind of reptile, amphibian, or small rodent. Because it means that I have to take care of them. That's not happening. I think she's sulking over there, that I won't let her jump on things. Alright, I'm not going to need that anymore, so I'll move it out of the way. See, I don't think, there's nothing wrong with small rodents or amphibians or reptiles. I just know cleaning the cages and the litter and everything is such a pain, and I don't want to do it. Yeah, see that, and that's the other thing too with small things, is they don't live very long. We actually, Jordan got, you know those little kits where you can actually grow frogs in a little aquarium? She got one of those 7 years ago, 6 years ago, and the things are still alive. I think because we have a limit in the city that I live in for 3 dogs, 2 cats per household. So, no, if you had 3 cats, you could 2 dogs. So it's like up to 3 of one, 2 of the other. But max you could have is 3 of one. So I think if it wasn't for that, my husband would constantly be like, hey, can we get that dog? Can we get that dog? Can we have that cat? Can we get that dog? No. And he's always asking me now for a kitten. No. 1, 2, 3 to the right. Yep. Let me do that again. Let me go back up again. Now this one is I have 3 pieces left, so I'm going to attach one to the left and attach one to the right. Okay, seams to the left. Yeah, like seriously, he's always like, oh, look at that cat. Can we adopt it? No. Oh, look at that dog. We already have 3. No. It wouldn't be as bad if I didn't travel so much. Because we actually were thinking about becoming fosters for one of the rescue groups that we support. But we can't do that because what happens if we're fostering and then I have to travel for a convention or for a speaking gig, and yeah, what's going to happen to the animal then? Because you can't... Yep, that's good. You can't have it be used to have someone during the day all the time, then all of a sudden not be there and be alone for the entire day. If you're a foster, they prefer to have someone there all day. Or at least consistency. Which we definitely do not have in our house. Okay, to the left. Okay, to the right. Now after I finish the second pass, some of them are ready and finished, but some of them need another pass. So what I'll do is go back through and only sew the ones that need another pass on them. And then I'll start combining rows together. I need to decide if I'm going to change for the banquet tonight, or if I'm just going to wear my Mystique shirt and jeans. The ladies in my quilt guild are used to me. So I could get, even though it's the end of the year banquet, I could get away with jeans and a t-shirt. But I probably should dress up a little. Two to the left. So far, I'm double checking all my rows as I go. So far, I have not flipped anything that I have caught. Yes, tea and food is a good thing. I approve of that. Doesn't look like a lot of them need another pass. 1, 2, yeah, just 2 of them. Nice. Okay. This one is to the right. No, the left. Honestly, it doesn't make a difference with the 3. As long as I put it on the right side. Okay. That one's good. This one needs another pass. That's the back one right there. And this one needs another pass. Since I've got this one in my hand, I'm going to do this one first. Oops, that one's bent. Alright, now all the rows are just need the last finishing touches on them, and then I can start sewing them together. So what I do is I'm going to combine them 2 apiece. 2, 2, 2. I still have this one missing, so I will wait until I sew these 2. And then that way, I'm not sewing just one at a time, and I can combine them together for the next step. Oh, damn it. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That one right there. No, that's right. Okay, that scared me. Okay, so I thought I flipped the piece because you have all this gold there and then gold down there. And the same thing on this one. So I seriously thought I flipped the pieces, but I didn't. I hate it when I scare myself. I almost had to break out the seam ripper. Got it sitting right there just in case. Okay, so it's to the right. Okay, and then let's combine these together. Now, in this case where I have a single seam here that needs sewn and I have 2 seams here that need sewn, I put this one on top. The others doesn't make a difference. Alright, so it looks like I have an odd number because I have a single one there. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 combinations. So they'll go into 4 rows. Yeah, okay. Alright, let's start sewing these rows. I hit my elbow on the table. A baking... What's a buddy? Bacon is amazing, so I assume it's delicious. Buddy has to be an English thing. Alright. Now comes my favorite part of quilting. Or pixel quilting. My favorite part of pixel quilting. When I start to assemble the rows and you can start to see the pattern. Flip this one. There we go. Oh, it's a bacon sandwich. Okay. I like bacon sandwiches. They are delicious. Anything with bacon is delicious. This bacon is good. Okay. That's not right. Oh, okay, it's that way. It's here. I had it pinned off. There we are. That looks better. Now, I am pinning every single seam. So, I found where the seams met up, and I pinned that first. And now all these others are just open seams. And I am pinning them closed. Because whenever I sew this through the machine, I don't want any of these seams to get caught up and folded back, or it's harder to quilt it. I want nice seams that lay down pretty. Now, you notice, can you see that on the camera? Yeah, you can. So right here, I've got more on the bottom than I do on the top for this row. That's fine. I don't worry about it. It'll all get figured out. It just means that I ironed these here. I either sewed them a little bit too much or I ironed this side too much. It's not a big deal. Little things like that that don't perfectly line up. No one's ever going to notice that. And that itself is actually going to get covered whenever I add on my border. See, and in this case, the top actually has a little bit. All right, there's my first one. Okay, so this one is to the left, and this one is to the right. So if you're looking at the pattern, I'm on rows 3 and 4. again, I'm pinning where the seams meet up first, and then going back and pinning down the rest of those seams. That was just a weather warning. Okay, there's a seam here. Let me just go ahead and finish off the end. And there's one there. There's one there. When I first started doing this, to make sure that I got all the seams, oops, I missed one there. To make sure I got all the seams on the back side, I would flip it and actually look at the seams and make sure that I saw a pin through them. Okay. Just another little trick to make sure that you've got it all right. Okay. One, two, three, four, five, six. Yeah, I'm gonna start doing that. Alright, so I'm on rows 5 and 6. That one's to the right, so this one should be to the left. Yep, that's correct. No other seams through there. No. Now in this case, you may or may not be able to see it, but the top fabric is actually a little bit looser than the bottom fabric, so there's more here than it is down there. In this case, I'm going to stretch the bottom fabric and then pin down the top fabric to make sure that it's evenly spaced. And then when I let go, all of a sudden a little bit of puckers are going to appear. Perfectly fine, because when you put it through your machine, you're going to stretch it a little bit. Yeah, that would be talking with your mouth full. And I'm going to stick another little pin over here. Because again, you can never have too many pins. And again, same thing here. It's a little, this is actually more pronounced too. You can see that the top has got more of a pucker. There's more fabric on there. So I'm just going to take this and I'm going to pull it and stretch it and then pin it in place. And then whenever I'm sewing it, I'm going to make sure that I stretch that fabric a little bit. Oh, I love hiccups. That was sarcasm, by the way. Here's that one. Next. 1, 2. Okay, that one, and then to the left. And there's no seams in here at all, but it's a larger space, so I'm going to stick a pin in the middle of that just to make sure it stays down there. And I don't have any issues. Nope. And whenever I'm lining up my seams, so like right here, I have a seam here and I have a seam here, and they are going in opposite directions because I've ironed them that way. So I'm making sure with my finger it's actually pressed in there all nice and my seams are butting right up against each other. And then I pin it. Now, you're supposed to pull your pins out when you're sewing. Supposed to. I don't. Because for some reason, when I pull the pins out, I shift the fabric and I don't have perfect points. I want perfect points. So I leave my pins in. Oh, God, I hate when I do that. All right, I haven't done this one for a while, so let's see how close I can get to that camera. So see what I did there? I kind of missed some of the fabric when I was sewing it. Yeah, I gotta redo that. I'm gonna stop what I'm doing to redo it. So how you fix this is I'm just going to pull out the thread from the area that was not affected. And I'm actually going to seam rip both sides because I do not want the fabric showing from where it is. There we go. So you see here, I've taken off the thread so that I will do that. And I'm actually going to flip it onto the opposite side so I can see exactly what I'm doing. And I'm going to re-sew some of the area and then do it. And what causes that is if you're not paying attention, especially with these smaller pieces, and when you're putting it into the machine, sometimes the corner can get folded back underneath of it as you're putting it in. And that's what happened in this case. I just wasn't, and sometimes when I put it in, I try to smooth it just to make sure. For some reason, I didn't do that this time, and yeah. It's an easy fix. It's not the end of the world. It's just a pain. That's that one. So, to continue on chaining, I'm going to sew these 2 rows. Because you want to constantly sew when you can. I don't know if you can hear the rumbling in the microphone or not. That's my cup going back and forth. And it hit a pin. Oh, and apparently my presser foot got loose when I hit it. There we go. Alright, let's do this again. I didn't break the needle at all. And the pin's only a little wonky. I can still use it. Alright, 1, 2, yes. Alright, we finish up those rows. Now, so the thing that I just fixed, you can definitely tell right away whenever you go to iron, if that's happened. Because as soon as I ironed it, I noticed there was a piece missing. Okay, to the right, to the left. I'm going to move it down here so I can see it better. And when I iron these pieces, if my seams are pointing down, I can just lay it down and then iron, because then I'm ironing up, so my seams are all going in the right way. Oh, you know what? I don't want to. Oh, it's not that one, it's the other one. Okay. 1, 2, 1, 2, and that one's going to be by itself, so I'm going to leave the bottom one to combine. I'm thinking and talking to myself. I will explain my random ramblings in a moment. Okay, that goes there, and that goes there. Oh, my scissors are up there for. You know what, I'm just gonna sew them all and then combine them. At this point, what I normally do whenever I've got these strips laid out on my rack, I have them in groups of 2, because that's what I'm going to sew together at the next point. You know, I still haven't worked on my cherry wood challenge yet. I really need to work on that. I gotta look at it because I think it's due in August. Alright, so I'm going to... No. That one with that one. that one with that one, that one with that one. So this one's staying. Now hopefully I don't need my pattern anymore. I can just tell from looking at it. There we go. There's one. There's only a single seam that meets on this one. And it's right there. Go. That one. You know, the reason why I get my nails done is not necessarily because I like the way they look, although I do. But I use my nails for so many things. I use them to move the fabric around. I use them to stop the pins. I use them on my machine. I use my nails for so many things. I think I can actually move a little faster because of the nails. Okay. Yeah, I wonder how many people watch on their TV or devices and don't chat. Just curious. 'Cause it seems like I'm always getting people popping in and out. Okay, so these two, so that one's going to that one, and these two are going to each other. You know, after yesterday's stream, I want to use that invisible thread more. That was fun. You know what? Let me check. Because I said I was going to see if there was any triangle pieces in this set that I got. It looks like there are. Oh, I see how they did it. So they don't have rulers. Huh. That's cool. Oh, you can't see it too good. That's okay. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so they've got instructions for doing that. I may have to quilt this with invisible thread. Ooh. That's cool. Oh. Ooh. Spiral. So look, now I'm getting distracted by all my toys. I've been looking for something to use this on. I got teardrops. Okay. Alright, I think I've got ideas. What's this one? A crosshair ruler. Ooh, that's cool. Oh, Jordan's home from school. Alright, I put that away. Let me finish this. I don't want to get too distracted. Yeah, because I'm thinking, because I really, really liked playing with that invisible thread yesterday. So I'm like, I want to do more of that. I don't know about using it in an actual quilt that you're going to use on a regular basis to sleep with or on the couch. But for the mini quilts, they're just going to be centerpieces on tables or hung on a wall. The invisible thread may be cool. Hi, Soleil. Are you telling me she's home? Soleil, come here. Come on. Don't knock over the camera. Up. Hey, you. Come here. Up. Turn for the camera. Turn for the camera. There you go. Sit. Look pretty. Camera's right there. Gotta look pretty for the camera. No, not at the TV. Not at the screen. Are you done? Yeah, you want to go clean up after the cat, don't you? I swear I have... That cat is so messy. So she will eat, and as she eats, she drops food on the floor. So, Soleil likes to clean up after her. Soleil really likes having a messy cat. Alright, so I am almost done with the main part of the mini quilt. After I finish the main part, I'll do some measurements, figure out what I want to do for the border, and then do it. Soleil likes it when the kids come home from school because she can bark at them. Oh, there it is. Couldn't find my scrap paper, or my scrap fabric. And I'm wondering if we should make this last row gold as well. Then go up. You totally did not nod off. You know what? Naps are good. I like naps when I can. Especially on a lazy Sunday afternoon. There we go. Just trying to get the seams to line up, and that one didn't want to go. Come on. There we go. Alright, last stitch, and then time for the border. There we go. Alright, so let's measure. I've got 19 by 19. Perfect. So I wanted it 20 inches. That's going to go a little over 20. Because I'm going to cut a 2, so it's going to have 1.5 to 1.5, so it's actually going to be 21 by 21. That's okay. I only have the 1 pixel on the left and right, yep. Yeah, 21 by 21 is fine. Sorry, I'm just doing math in my head. I'm thinking. Yep. Okay, so I should be able to get by with just 2 strips of black. So let me cut 2 2-inch strips. Black. I may do the binding in gold. I don't have gold up there, but yeah. I may have to make binding. Alright. Let's do the top and the bottom first. See, I said it would take almost the entire stream. And after I put these on and make sure it's right, I'll put the notations in the pattern. That's a big enough piece. I'm going to stick it in my scrap. Oops. My chair didn't want to move. Oops, get in there. Scrap fabric didn't want to go in the machine. Alright, now let me trim my edges. Okay, and let me iron the other side. So the cat apparently has determined it is dinner time, and she is sitting on top of her food container, staring at me. I know. Yes, I hear you. It's not time. And yes, I do the simple way of borders. The way you're supposed to do it is measure each side, take the average of the two, and cut your piece exactly that size of the average, and fit it all in there. And what that does is it squares up your quilt to make sure your quilt is the exact same on the left and the right and the top and the bottom. Hey! No! It's a box, the one that she keeps scratching at that, it's a box of my my plastic baggies for my patterns. And she loves the cardboard. Well, now she's gotten through the cardboard and she's actually starting to hit some of the plastic baggies. She's got cardboard toys too. Ooh, I cut that too short. That's okay. It's barely there. That should do it. Yep, that'll work. I should have cut that piece in half to make sure that I had enough. But it's fine. If it's got a little bit of salvage on there, you're not going to see it. Okay, so that works. So, let me make my mood notations. Border, we're going to do 2 inches in the black. So 2 inches. All right. I know. Now, whenever I'm sewing, I'm not pushing the fabric in. I am pulling it a little bit to guide it whenever it's going over top the pins. All I'm doing is I'm making sure that my fabric is going in straight. There we go. Let's trim the edges. See, none of that white showed up. There you go. Alright, I am finished. Triforce mini quilt. That's nice. You can actually see the entire thing. Here, and I'll put it kind of next to the pattern. Cool. I always forget, it's like opposite. So if I lift my right, I gotta, yeah. Nice. Alright, so that is finished. And I'm gonna call it a day there. Because I've got to go through the winner of the Mega Android. I've got to get her the pattern, the PDF. Yeah, so I've got stuff to prepare before my quilt banquet tonight. So that's it for today. So I'm going to have both of the videos from yesterday and today up on YouTube tomorrow. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. And I will be streaming Saturday sometime. I'll make sure I make an announcement. And then next Wednesday. So have a fantastic day.